What if the man running the greatest empire on earth was a monster? Imagine standing in the crowd as a grotesque emperor parades through Rome, laughing at the pain of thousands. Today we dive into one of the darkest reigns in ancient history, a ruler so twisted that even Roman senators trembled at his name. His name, Caligula. Prepare for a chilling journey through the madness of a tyrant whose cruelty knew no bounds. In this video, we'll explore the story of Caligula, the infamous Roman emperor whose brief reign from 37 to 41 AD turned a golden empire into a personal nightmare. You'll see how his reign of terror reminds us that power without limits can lead to unimaginable horror, and why understanding this dark chapter can help us value the freedoms we often take for granted today. So buckle up, because the next few minutes are not for the faint of heart. In the beginning, Emperor Caligula was celebrated. The people expected miracles. He cancelled unfair taxes, returned exiles, even held grand games and chariot races. It was a brief relief and a big promise to the people. Rome loved him, a youthful ruler finally free from the shadow of the hated Tiberius, inspiring hope for the people. But in the blink of an eye, everything changed. A sudden illness struck Caligula. The man who returned was not the same. Many say sickness shattered his mind. Others whisper of dark rituals that opened the door to evil. Whatever happened, it unleashed a cruel new emperor. Almost overnight, the cheerful youth was gone. Gone was any kindness. What remained was cruelty. The once popular emperor started to entertain himself with torment and violence. Senators who once cheered his victory now trembled at the mention of his name. One night, a dozen senators were arrested. They pleaded innocence and mercy. Caligula silenced them by having their tongues cut out. Then he publicly executed them one by one, watching as panic and anguish spread across their faces. But this was just the beginning of his madness. Soon, Caligula turned the streets of Rome into his personal stage of horror. He tossed innocent people into the Colosseum, feeding them to wild beasts as a macabre form of entertainment. He made spies of the crowd around him, forcing noblemen to watch in fear as he tortured their friends and even family just for a laugh. At a banquet, he caught a servant stealing. In a rage, he ordered the man's hand cut off and hung around his neck as a gruesome warning to the others. What drove Caligula to such unimaginable deeds? Some say a great darkness took hold after his illness. Was it madness, or did he always have this brutality buried within? We may never know, but one thing is certain: his reign quickly became a spiral of fear and chaos for everyone around him. He didn't stop at just torture. He began to rule Rome like a personal playground. He believed he was a god. He demanded statues of himself in every temple. He even insisted that he alone should speak to Jupiter on behalf of Rome. He held lavish ceremonies claiming he was descended from the gods. At dinner parties, instead of toasting the emperor, guests were asked to honor the divine Caligula. This only fed his ego. He bragged that no one could challenge his will, not even the gods themselves. He needed to prove his power in the strangest ways. When his generals said they could not invade Britain because of mutiny and storms, Caligula ordered them to collect seashells on the beach. He declared it a victory over Neptune, the sea god, and a proud trophy for Rome. Imagine an emperor standing on the shore, pointing his sword at the ocean, and then ordering his men to whip the waves. By the time Caligula was done, his army had nothing but seashells as spoils of war. His bizarre cruelty even extended to his beloved horse. He pampered his favorite stallion, Incitatus, with the life of a prince. A marble stall, an ivory manger, even servants to feed it. He gave the horse fine clothes and jewels, treating it better than most citizens. Finally, in a moment of twisted mockery, he announced he would make Incitatus a consul, the highest official in Rome. People scrambled. Was this a cruel joke or a terrifying show of power? Caligula just grinned, because the Senate didn't know how to respond. He made his point. Even a horse could do a better job than those senators. The message was clear. He could break any rule or custom on a whim. Every day in Rome became unpredictable horror. Parents would pray their children weren't on Caligula's whim list. If a noble irritated him even slightly, that person could vanish overnight. One moment they were dining with wine, the next they might find themselves naked before a blacksmith's blade. No one was safe, not even the emperor's own wife or daughter. Caligula even tormented those closest to him. He once kissed his wife's neck and jokingly threatened to have her killed as easily as ordering dinner. Even those tied to him lived in constant fear. In less than 4 years, Caligula transformed Rome from glory to darkness and fear. Daily life for ordinary citizens meant walking a razor's edge. One wrong move could catch the eye of the emperor's envy or rage. The terror was so thick you could almost feel it in the streets. Whispers would circulate of secret plans to end the emperor's madness, to save Rome. Finally, it all came to a head on a cold January morning in 41 AD. Caligula's Praetorian Guard, those same men who once saluted him, had enough. They burst into the halls of his palace like avenging ghosts, stabbing and hacking at the emperor. Caligula fell, betrayed by his own people. In an instant, the nightmare was over. So why does any of this matter to you today? Caligula's madness may seem like ancient history, but the memory of his reign echoes through time. It shows us the dangers of unchecked power. It warns that even a stable society can collapse if a leader goes mad. Remembering Caligula teaches us to protect our freedoms and never blindly follow a leader. It reminds us that no one is above the law. After all, learning history can equip us to spot warning signs of tyranny. In this way, the tale of this mad emperor becomes a lesson for us all. If you made it this far, thank you for joining me on this journey into Rome's shadowy past. If this story blew your mind, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more history that'll shake your world. I want to know what you think. Drop a comment below. Would you have the courage to stand up against a mad emperor? And if you're ready for more, be sure to watch our next video as we uncover another extraordinary chapter from the annals of history. Stay curious, stay brave, and I'll see you in the next one.